Tuning in today. Farmer protests in Europe have been going on for several consecutive months now, and despite the promises that were made by Ursula von der Leyen, no new decisions on green policy or Agenda 2030, that is, have been proposed. Reportedly, a representative from Hungary is now to blame, so a new scapegoat. At the beginning of this week, protests by European farmers intensified in Brussels and all across Europe. I will share videos with you in just a second. No mainstream media will show you these clips because they don't want you to see them. Polish protesters, for example, plan to go on a strike at least until Easter, and according to a recent survey, over 70% of the Polish population, of the Polish people, support the farmers. British farmers just announced that the biggest protests yet should be expected in Parliament Square. Farmers in France are not holding back either. Here's a really good visual that shows you exactly where farmer protests have been taking place. As you can tell, it's truly been across all of Europe. Now, I do want to show you quite shocking videos from the most recent protests. I think many people don't realize just how serious this is, and the fact that farmers are literally fighting, they're literally fighting for their lives, for their livelihoods, as Agenda 2030 will give the government full authority to have direct control over what small farmers can and cannot do, what they can and cannot grow. As food production will be slowly consolidated into the hands of large corporations, it's safe to say that its quality will deteriorate and it might not be the kind of food that will help us be healthy. So here are several videos to sum it up and to show you exactly what's been going on. Take a look. Here you can see hundreds of tractors protesting outside the EU headquarters just a couple of days ago. Police use water cannons against the farmers that are spraying exactly what you think it is. Here's Britain. This is extremely concerning. And, these protests have been going on for months now. And what exactly has the EU done to address legitimate concerns of those who fully depend on growing and providing food for us? Not much, if anything at all. In case you're new and you're not really sure why farmers are protesting, here's a quick recap. I do have 2 videos on my channel where I go in further details. I will link those videos for you below, but I do want to give you a quick recap just to provide some background. So all over Europe, farmers are staging truly massive, unprecedented protests against their own governments as a response to net zero or Agenda 2030 policies. These policies were not up for a discussion, EU farmers did not get a chance to vote for or against them. Effectively, the Green Agenda, which includes increased taxes, cancelled subsidies, extreme government regulation of small to mid-sized agricultural businesses that will drive these people out of business and likely on the streets because they will have no means to support themselves once they go bankrupt and are forced to close. Those are the main reasons why farmers are protesting. This is why they're ready to fight. And besides the net zero agenda, European farmers are very unhappy about unfair competition as the result of the EU waiving quotas and waiving duties on the agricultural produce that is imported from Ukraine, because it lowers prices in the EU while the cost of fuel and the cost of production within the limits of the EU is of course much higher than it is in Ukraine. So all in all, European farmers lose under those conditions. The mainstream media has not been doing a great job reporting on this, and of course, they're not really disclosing the real reasons behind these protests. Here's Politico, for example. It reports police used tear gas and water cannons to quell violent Brussels demonstrations. The article goes on to say about 250 tractors arrived in Brussels in the early hours of Tuesday morning this week in a new demonstration against policies which they say are whacking their business. Kyiv Post is reporting on Polish farmer protests here as well. It says it's an uphill battle to make deal with farmers blocking Ukraine border. Also, I can't help but point out this absolutely pure desperation here, as months of protests by Polish farmers are blamed on Russia. It says here, among the problems are no clear leadership among the Polish farmers and the Russian influence at the grassroots level. So, of course, it's Russia's fault that Europe hates the people who grow its food and try to stay alive doing what they know how to do best. Now, I have to admit that we're beginning to see very, very similar things in the United States. Farmers are facing new government regulations that can and will put many of them out of business.
In the state of Oregon, they are going after and shutting down local producers, farmers, and small businesses due to the new definition of this CAFO bill. Now, a CAFO is a confined animal feeding operation that covers everybody that raises livestock. They're making them dig new trenches, new water treatment plants, and concreting all their corrals that animals are being fed on. Now, if they come to your farm or where you're producing your livestock and you're not up to their code, they will shut you down until you get it fixed. The thing about this is it's going to cost hundreds of thousands of dollars to fix everything, and farmers don't make a lot of money. We're not rich, and they know this. So it's an attack on small businesses and local producers to make everything go upstream and upscale back to the big businesses and the big packers. This is something we need to stand up and fight back against. So if you're in the state of Oregon, I am with you. Everybody that's with me, make sure you share this around, get the information out there.
I will create an entire video with the details on what's going on here in the United States. So if you're interested, please follow me on YouTube, and please make sure that you are subscribed to my backup channel on Rumble. I will start putting this content over on my Rumble soon. So if you do want to stay up to date, if you are interested, please make sure that you take a minute to become a subscriber to my channel on Rumble. Farmer protests, fires at farms and agricultural facilities lately. We have to start putting two and two together, don't you think? Thank you for watching. I truly appreciate your time. Please show your support. It does go a long way. Give this video a thumbs up, consider sharing it, and subscribe, both on Rumble and YouTube. I would love to have you back for my next one tomorrow.